All right, to everybody that's just joining us and people who might be dropping in on YouTube in the future, I'd like to apologize in advance for what's about to occur in this league, but I would just like the record to reflect that I've been paid to do this, and I am just a person who does what he's paid to do. So, sorry, not sorry. My mortgage thanks the person who donated for this.
How we doing, folks? Good morning. Is everybody ready to play some Magic together? A lot of people, they think my voice is too strong, so occasionally we like to go ahead and tone it down so that way people who like to hear the Twitch streamers who are very soft spoken, they can get that full experience here in Hoaglandia too. We have a wide range of things that we do here, especially for money. Let's be honest, chat. Be honest with yourselves. If someone asks you if you'll do something for money, you'll probably do it if they offer enough money. So just know that I'm here for you all for whatever you need. Anywho, today we're going to go ahead and be playing some Jund Planeswalkers together. This is our second time playing this archetype, and the first time that we played it, it was very, very reasonable. So we have a whole bunch of friends, and they're ready to have a party here together. We have Sarkhan, Fireblood, Karn, Scion of Urza, and then we have Vivien and Angrath. They're like mom and dad throwing the party here together for all of their friends to come over. We have Vraska, the Relic Seeker, kind of tying it all in. And Vraska, she's paired up here with her big, strong worm. Her worm's going to thrash and bash people and just do all sorts of powerful, terrible things to our opponents. Let's go ahead and dive into some matches, shall we? Don't put your speakers on mute. If you put your speakers on mute, you'll miss the show. Don't miss the show, chat. I'm here for all of y'all. Coach Berg, how many biddies were you paid to do this and how many to stop? Oh, the leagues in the soft-spoken voice are not cheap. Not cheap. In fact, if you have to ask how much the soft-spoken league costs, just don't worry about it. You can't afford it. We're going to go ahead and play our second land out here and go ahead and hold up Cast Down. Although against turn 1 Hallowed Fountain, there's probably a pretty good chance that Cast Down isn't going to have text. Sarkhan was a very, very good draw here. Double Hallowed Fountain to start likely implies that our opponent's playing something of a control deck. And Sarkhan is just very, very good against control because he takes these bad, naughty removal spells and he turns them into something that's hopefully going to be useful for us. Sarkhan knows exactly what you need, and it's not this, it's this. Gonna go ahead and turn this other Cast Down into something meaningful here. Sarkhan removes some of that virtual card advantage that your opponent's going to be able to generate with their Esper control deck. So go ahead and play Llanowar Elves here. I think we're going to go ahead and hold on to the Rix Maadi Reveler here, just because I don't really have anything that I want to discard in my hand right now. I'd like to prefer to hold on to everything since we have a 5th land and 2 powerful Planeswalkers. You can't hear me over the game volume. Well, that's sad. Let me pull that pesky game volume back a little bit. Let you hear my big, beautiful voice. So I kind of like all my Magic cards at this point. Steam Flogger with the Tier 2 resub. Thank you for the 19th month in a row. Of course I noticed you, Captain Magar. Good morning. Good morning, chat. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday and had a fantastic weekend. Go ahead and put Vraska the Relic Seeker into play here. And this is the part where, because we don't have any cards like Duress in our main deck, we just have to kind of power through what the opponent has going on here. So we're just going to go ahead and jam Planeswalker after Planeswalker after Planeswalker into what our opponent has going on. And eventually one of these big bad Planeswalkers is going to stick around for us. I think I'm going to go ahead and hold on to Sarkhan here. hold on to this Rix Maadi, because this Rix Maadi could turn into 3 cards down the line for us. Level 0 Judge, thank you for the 9-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Get our big scary Angrath down. We're putting multiple must-answer threats into play here. It is worth noting that Sarkhan's ultimate is not fantastic in this matchup because my opponent does have access to many, many copies of Kaya's Wrath. I'm going to go ahead and plus this Sarkhan Firebrand and turn this Rootbound Crag hopefully into some big powerful spell. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this mountain here just because Sarkhan might turn it into something useful next turn. The Autumn Wizard, thank you for the 3rd month in a row. I appreciate that quarter of a year of support. It wouldn't be a magic stream without a lot of card shuffling near the microphone, would it? Yeah, so the opponent didn't have a counterspell for our Angrath, but they did have a Chemister's Insight, which means they are far more likely to have a counterspell this turn, which is a little bit scary. So I think at this point I go ahead and we kind of go all in. Nah, let's start with plussing Sarkhan. There's a good chance they have an absorb this turn since they saw so many more additional cards. That being said, it might be right to just jam the Rix Maadi and try and draw 3 with it here. Yeah, Angrath triggers Reveler. That being said, I think I'm supposed to give myself the most chances to find a piece of hot action here. I'm going to go ahead and plus Sarkhan, discarding this Llanowar Elf, trying to find another threat. All right, let's go ahead and play out the old Rix Maadi here with Spectacle. So if they have nothing. That's very, very good for us. Big fan of nothing. Bits for shuffles. Thank you, J-Rock, for the biddies. Those itty bitty biddies. I appreciate the support. All right, we are slowly and steady pulling ahead in this game here. It's nice that we don't have to worry about anything like planar cleansing in this standard format. Gonna get to go ahead and cash in the cast down here. Sarkhan, even though he's near his ultimate, he's really the silent hero of this game. He's the one that's sitting here making sure that all of our otherwise useless cards are turning into some hot fire. I'm going to go ahead and attack for 8 here, drop them down to 11. You'll notice I went ahead and played that land out. That's because I went ahead and still had this Ritual of Soot in my hand. My goal here is to force my opponent into Kaya's Wrathing before we ultimate my Sarkhan. This way my opponent has to have 2 Kaya's Wraths right in a row. Let's go ahead and play Vraska first and see what happens. She just resolves. Alright, well, up you go. And then down you go. And you're... Your move, opponent. This is all we have. They do have the second Kaya's Wrath. Well, now that we're still demanding more answers from them every single turn. Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it? I think it's worth holding the Sarkhan Fireblood here because he could turn into something more useful next turn. Yep, that's a cast down. Our powerful planeswalker is just ticking up, and away. Their planeswalker's very powerful too. We're hoping to draw a big, scary dragon next turn, or a wiggly worm. Yikes! We might be in a little bit of trouble, chat. Teferi's here, and he's putting a damper on the party. Sarkhan provides filtering, but Teferi provides genuine card advantage. I wonder if it's possible that I use my Sarkhan ultimate too early because I drew the Vraska Relic Seeker. It's very, very probable that maybe I should have held off on that. It is worth noting that this matchup is going to get much better for us post-board than it will get for our opponent, because our deck is going to be able to turn a bunch of cards that are otherwise kind of useless into something meaningful. Like all of these cast downs and Ritual of Soot that we've been filtering through will turn into spells that have an actual impact on the game. I think this is probably going to be about the game. We'll take 2 more draws next turn, trying to find a way to kill this Teferi. But if Teferi continues to hang out and play, we're going to be all done. Survey says, I suppose with the Sarkhan in play, maybe we have a shot. But the Teferi's just waiting out here to send Sarkhan back to bed here, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. One of the best things you can learn about the standard format is when you're beat, even though your health total hasn't quite reached 0 yet, get to go ahead and bring in a bunch of powerful cards here like Vraska's Contempt and Eldest Reborn, and we're going to put our opponent under some serious duress in these post-board games. They're not going to know what hit them. Look at that big, beautiful sideboard plan. We cut all of these dirty, bad cards that are spot removal spells and brought in powerful forms of interaction. Is that your own voice or a voice modifier? I don't know why so many people think we modify things digitally here. My hair is authentic. My voice is authentic. Everything is good and pure on this stream. None of that digital shenanigans. I am more than just a Magic player. I am a performer, chat. So I don't think Cindervines is particularly potent in this matchup. It is fine against Search for Azcanta, but Rix Maadi effectively represents a draw 3 in most games, and I think that that's very powerful and worth keeping in. As a special treat for the ASMR stream, I'm going to let you hear me drink my drink. This hand's a tricky one, chat. Duress, and we have all of our colors. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep, but there is a chance that we get punished for keeping a hand like this. One of the things you need to be aware of when you're playing Duress against these counterspell-based control decks is that because Duress is so incredibly mana efficient, you don't need to be aggressive with your Duresses, chat. You can be very, very gentle while you play your Duresses. And just go ahead and give your opponent the most possible chances to draw those big bad counter spells. I'm going to hold on to this next Duress until they have something more meaningful in their hand. We don't really care about this copy of Mortify. Big strong Karn coming into play here. Oh no. They searched for Azcanta and they found an Absorb. We've been bad and they're punishing us for being gentle with those Duresses. Thankfully, we drew another big scary Karn off the top here. Is this Chemister's Insight in our future? I'm going to go ahead and take the Chemister's Insight, even though they can jumpstart it, because this match is all about that sweet, sweet card advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and take that away so they only have 1 draw 2 instead of 2 draw 2s. I suspect we'll see them ditch this Mortify for 2 fresh Magic the Gathering cards here. Opponent's got some card advantage, but we've got that big, strong Karn advantage, chat. I assume Teferi's going to go ahead and tuck Karn into bed here since he put Vraska's Contempt into exile. Yikes. Alright, so let's go ahead and play out Rix Maadi Reveler to get started here. Ditch this. That's another Rix Maadi Reveler. Okay, let's just go ahead and play that out. I'm going to go ahead and cycle through some of these lands, put some pressure into play here so we can punish that Teferi next turn.
No time for a break.
So now they need a sweeper or 2 removal spells here in order to stop the Rix Maadis from killing their big strong Teferi. That's Akaya's Wrath. If they have a counterspell here for our Karn, we are unfortunately going to lose the game. Smells like it's all done. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. We're always a very friendly stream, Rev. Yikes. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. So it's worth... Oh, I could have shocked an exile. No, I didn't. Did I have 8? No, I only have 7 lands, so I couldn't shock and exile the Teferi. I didn't have enough mana to do that. Maybe you made me doubt myself. You made me doubt myself. It's worth noting that if we look back and reflect on that game, I think there's a very, very good chance that if I would have played my Duress on 1 instead of saving it to be nice and gentle-like, we could have taken their Search for Azcanta. And if we'd have taken their Search for Azcanta, we maybe could have stopped them from smoothing out their draw that game. That being said, there's also a chance the Search for Azcanta came right off the dirty top of their deck, and there's nothing we could do about it anyways. So... maybe we could have done something, maybe we couldn't. This hand's very reasonable. We're hoping we're not playing against Esper Control and we're playing against one of those decks that has a text box with these removal spells. Excellent. We've got lots of big, strong removal against the Mono Blue Menace. Llanowar Elves, I would be on the draw all day, chat, if it meant Llanowar Elves was always my next card. Da Dweebs, thank you very, very much for the 18-month resub. I appreciate that entire year of support. I'm going to go ahead and put this land into play tapped here, and because I have 2 pieces of removal here, I'm actually going to go ahead and pass the turn to my opponent, so that way I can play a removal spell on their turn and then play another removal spell on my following turn, give myself just the most possibility of sticking this little Mistcloak Herald in a box in the ground. I'm going to go ahead and use my cast down here first, because if only one of my removal spells is going to resolve, I'd prefer that Moment of Craving resolve, because it's going to give me 2 wonderful points of life back. Opponent checking out some of their options here. And now, at this point, it's worth noting that I'm going to go ahead and just jam the Moment of Craving now, because I don't want them to untap and have 2 mana protection available. We also got to do that through Spell Pierce, so it's very important that I play that spell pre-combat, so that way they can't Spell Pierce it, and then I get my 1 attack in here. That's not the big scary Tempest Shin, so that bodes well for the home team, chat. Now the question becomes, do I want to play around counter spells, and if so, which ones and how badly? It feels like there's a chance my opponent has a Spell Pierce here, and I feel like I'm not really under enough pressure to make me want to play into a Spell Pierce. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Blood Crypt tapped, and I'm going to go ahead and just pass the turn. There's no reason to attack with my Llanowar Elves into a very, very, very scary, tricky merfolk. You don't want to run into tricky merfolks, chat. The tricky merfolks will give you the business. So because I have the lands in my hand to afford to play around a Spell Pierce, and I'm not under that much pressure, I'm going to elect to play around Spell Pierce this game. One of the best things you can learn to do against this mono blue deck is be able to identify when you can afford to play around things like Spell Pierce and when you just need to jam into it. So they did go ahead and retort us here, but this gives me the opening to go ahead and smash with my big scary Llanowar Elves here. And then next turn, because we have this Llanowar Elves in play, we're going to be able to play a Swamp and play through Spell Pierce again. That's another Angrath. Alright, so the first Angrath's going to go ahead and come down here. And now the question becomes, do I want to down tick my Angraths and go for this Tempest Shin? I think I'm going to go ahead, because we drew this other Angrath, I'm going to go ahead and try and yoink this big bad boy. I assume Siren Stormtamer's going to have something to say about this, but we got to try, chat. We got to try. The problem with Westvale Abbey and Green-Black Elves is that because it doesn't make green mana, it's really not a land, and I think it's worse than just playing another spell. Really hoping to draw Ritual of Soot here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to lead on Angrath here. We're going to go ahead and yoink one of their Tempest Shins away. And then I think we're going to go ahead and play this Sarkhan out as well here. Worth noting, we played around Spell Pierce this game, and it does appear that our opponent does not have any copies of Spell Pierce, which is unfortunate for us. We put ourselves a little bit behind. Yikes. Alright, so against the mono blue deck, we want to go ahead and take our curve and pull it down, because if your curve's too big and chunky, the mono blue deck is going to give you a real bad time. Duress here also gives us an incredibly efficient way to attack the mono blue player's hand. We go ahead and we board out Vraska and her big wiggly worm, because they're just a little bit too chunky for this matchup. We need a few more cards to bring in here. Vivien Reid, on average, probably a little bit more powerful than Angrath for us. So we're going to go ahead and trim him rather than her. And I think a Rix Maadi Reveler is probably the final cut. Just want to leave in as much removal as possible. How do we feel about Karn versus Angrath? They're both kind of big and chunky, but Angrath is basically a removal spell in this matchup, which is meaningful. We could go ahead and get that Angrath back in here, chat. Is Angrath bigger and scarier than Karn, or I think I like the Angrath over the Karn too. I think I like the Angrath over the Karn. And this way, we get to keep Angrath and Vivien, and we don't have to split Mom and Dad up. Mom and Dad are better together. This hand's got a lot of potential in it. It really needs to draw another land, but we've got some removal spells, and we've got a sweeper. Onward, upward, backward, forward we go. Jeff, I have 8+ hours of grading today. Why do due dates line up in the worst possible ways sometimes? That's a lot of grading, Brecken. Thank you very much for the 13 months of support and that very generous tier 3 resub. I think I'm going to go ahead and just let this pass back to me here. Because I have multiple removal spells, I'm not really worried about a Curious Obsession. And if they don't have a Curious Obsession next turn, we're not really going to care about this little silly 1/1. Again, we're going to go ahead and lead on the cast down here, because if only one of my things is going to resolve, I'd much prefer Moment of Craving resolve. That's very, very sad for us, chat. We really wanted to draw a 4th land here, so that way we could play 2 removal spells this turn. This might be the end of our hero. It feels like a spell pierce. Do. It was a dive down, and we're still dead. Do. Where are our lands? Gonna go ahead and pass the turn back here. So we'll burn the cast down on this turn here, and then hopefully we will draw 4th land and be able to untap and cast Ritual of Soot to kill this little 2/2 menace. It's not even that our deck's just on the chunky side so much as we just don't have lands this game, and that's just how Magic the Gathering goes sometimes. There's games where you basically just don't get to play. People keep mentioning how annoying the mono blue deck is. It's worth noting, if we'd have just had a 4th land on 4 this game, we'd have been more than fine. Oh, we're performing a Ritual of Soot, chat. I'm saying there might be a chance. Take a chance on me. Do. Ah, yikes. We do have mana to play Angrath next turn. This big scary Tempest Djinn is a 2-turn clock though. I think we needed to hit our 5th land last turn. Probably Deadzo here. Yeah, that's all, folks. Listen, when someone pays for this, I always promise at least an hour of my services, so we'll be done in approximately 40 minutes, and then big, strong Jeff with his powerful voice will come back to comfort all of y'all. I promise that when the Jeskai friends come to town, Jeff will be back to his big, strong, normal voice. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. This hand is excellent, assuming they have creatures. Put this land into play tippity-tapped. So I couldn't play Hellkite on that last turn there because I didn't have double red mana. We have a lot of friends in our lineup today. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm hungry for some bodyguard here. It's worth noting that they could have had a counterspell if we let them untap there, but they're pretty unlikely to have a counterspell in their main deck, so I think it's fine to let them untap. So I have to make a decision here now. It's worth noting that my opponent did miss a land drop. So I could play this Sarkhan and then be able to play the Skarrgan Hellkite next turn, potentially. However, that would allow them to attack with 3 creatures, which would let them flip this Legion's Landing. So I think I'd prefer to not let them flip the landing this turn. Yeah, you're correct. If I was going to kill the Dauntless Bodyguard last turn, I should have used the Cast Down first, probably, instead of the Moment of Craving, so that way I could gain my 2 still. Holding Moment of Craving or something like a Danto Vanguard also is kind of meaningful. So now, because I've waited to play the Sarkhan is unable to survive through the turn. I think it's still correct to play the Sarkhan and ditch the Rix Maadi Reveler, kind of dig for that 5th and 6th mana source, that way we can play our cards on time next turn. Ooh, got a big strong elf here. Elf can keep Sarkhan alive. Oh no. Oh No, they're marshaling the troops, chat. They're marshaling the troops. Marshal, marshal, marshal. I think we just go ahead and let Sarkhan die here, because this way if we draw one of those fantastic land cards next turn, we can play our big wiggly worm and kill this marshal. We are so incredibly unlucky, chat. Do we play? I think we just play the Hellkite out here. Just play this as a 5/5. Your move, opponent. Please don't let the Conclave put me 4th for Tribunal. Yikes! They put a good card in their deck. Who told the opponent to put a good card in their deck, chat? Who told them to put a good card in their deck? Why don't they listen to all the people who don't put heroic reinforcements in their deck? This white aggro deck is so much easier to beat when they don't put that card in their deck. We're going to go ahead and board in a bunch of these copies of Lava Coil and go ahead and just drag our curve down here a touch again. It's funny, people always ask me, why is it worth slashing heroic reinforcements? And the question answer I always tell them is, well, when I'm playing against the mono blue deck, mono white deck, I'm always hoping they don't draw heroic reinforcements. And when I'm playing the heroic reinforcements, it's the only card I want to draw. So clearly, that's probably a card we should play. We do have a little bit of the sniffles going on. Usually I'm good in catch and mute it, but this is a little bit outside of my normal set. For people asking if I'm okay, it's winter in the Midwest, and I have 2 tiny plague carriers, so no, I'm basically going to perpetually be sick until May or June. Alright, so now we have to make a decision. Do we want to just start playing removal spells, or do we want to play this Llanowar Elves and ramp into Ritual of Soot? I think I want to go ahead and play the Elves out this turn, so that way if I draw a land, I can go ahead and play Karn and plus him, because Karn's a big strong boy. He goes to 6 loyalty right away, which means that ain't no little tiny white weenie creatures going to be able to beat him up. Alas, the lands were not meant to be, chat. The lands were not meant to be. Ditch the big scary worm. And that's just, Magic the Gathering happens sometimes. Magic the Gathering does occur. Alright, so we're taking a hit for... I think I'm going to go ahead and block this Sky Marcher here and then hope to draw a land so we can perform a ritual. Watch it be a not black land. That's gonna happen. It's gonna be a not black land, and we're gonna die. Yikes! For people that are suggesting I cast removal spells there instead of playing the Rix Maadi, playing a removal spell as opposed to playing my Rix Maadi to try and draw a land, that's playing to not lose. In order to win this game, I need to draw 3rd, 4th, and probably even 5th land. So giving myself the best possible chance to do that is ideal. I wonder if this deck wants an additional land here. We are playing 25, but there's probably a good chance that this deck just wants 26 lands. We have cards like Rix Maadi and Sarkhan to filter through when we have too many lands, so hedging the side of not having enough is probably better. I think after this match, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a Rix Maadi for a 26th land. Okie doke, so I think I'm feeling a little bit hungry. Gobble, gobble. Nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 nom. 'Nom, nom, 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 My favorite part about playing decks like this is the very results-based tiny sample size nonsense that always goes on in chat after we play a bunch of matches in a row where we just don't get to play Magic. Every deck looks bad when it misses its third land drop in a row, chat. That's just how Magic the Gathering goes. It's just a part of the game that we all love. Cam Bam, thank you for the 10-month in a row. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think we just go ahead and take 2 here, because that way we can set up to play our big Vraska Relic Seeker in 2 turns. Pamsel, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Of course we can get to it with the sweet voice. No, we don't do little tiddly bits for the sweet voice. The question now becomes, do I want a Rix Maadi? I think I do. I think at this point, the Vraska Relic Seeker is just going to be so much value that I just want to stem the bleeding here a little bit. I want to play my 2/2 so I can block their 2/1s. You're right, Y-Sticks. I didn't give my opponent a chance to make a mistake, but at the end of the day, I'm just looking to play as quickly as possible, so while you're technically correct, in actuality, you're just wasting time. Wiggin, thank you for that 8 months of Twitch Prime support. Welcome back. So every single week I write for the website coolstuffinc.com FGC, and my article this week is going to be breaking down what happened at the Mythic Championship and what I think the results mean. We've officially entered what I like to refer to on this channel as garbage time this game. Our opponent can no longer win, but it's going to take us a little bit to actually kill them. Cade's World. Thank you for that 2/3 of a year of support. Welcome back. Vraska is a surprisingly quick clock. She ends the game in just 3 turns, which is just wonderful. I really don't like Esper Control. I think Esper Control is tedious and boring. You are dead. Alright, so playing against White Weenie here again. We're going to go ahead and board in all these copies of Lava Coil. We're going to go ahead and cut Vivien Reid, and part of me doesn't want to cut all my big copies of Big Mama Vraska. She was very, very reasonable there. I think I'm going to trim 1 and 1. Leave one of each up here, get a little variety in. Good morning, Red Mage Frank. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at in the world. Well, thanks for being here, Jay. Thanks for watching and keeping me employed here. I figure the least that I can do for the people that let this be my job is treat it like a job and be consistent and responsible. We're going to be playing Jeskai Friends as the next deck we play today, which will probably start in about 30 to 45 minutes. Good morning, NCRO. Good morning to everybody out there. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at. I just use an editor with syntax highlighting in it, Fragabo, and then I use a terminal because I'm human, so I'm old and I'm terrified of change, so IDEs, they just aren't for me. My preferred editor with syntax highlighting is called Genie. Genie in a bottle, doo 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 doo. So, have to make some decisions here about how I would like to sequence my removal spells. Obviously, we want to kill one of their creatures this turn so that way Legion's Landing doesn't transform. I'm going to go ahead and play Rootbound Crag, and I'm going to play Lava Coil on this, which will probably kill the Dauntless Bodyguard. Although I suppose they might keep the Bodyguard because it represents more power here. So maybe I'm supposed to just kill the Bodyguard. Probably supposed to just kill the Bodyguard. Well, you see, Chalky, even though I have the demeanor and the appearance of an middle-aged man, I'm actually only 28, so Python's actually one of the programming languages I started using. Change being scary is one of the reasons why I use Python 2.7 instead of Python 3. Yeah, I think I messed up here. I definitely should have Lava Coiled the Bodyguard that turn. I'd be 2 points of health higher right now. So because this is a post-board game, I'm going to go ahead and use the cast down on my turn, so that way my opponent doesn't have the opportunity to use a Spell Pierce or a Negate when they untap. So if this was game 1 still, I would probably wait till their turn, but because it's not, I'm going to go ahead and use this proactively. Yeah, most people assume that I'm older than I am because I've been a bitter, angry old man since I was about 17.
Do not fear. Deliver us to victory.
Johnny's kinda scary here. Speak normal? What's abnormal about my big, beautiful voice that you're hearing right now? Don't voice shame me. We're gonna go ahead and play Rix Maadi here. Discard one of these Karns. And then I think the play here is to go ahead and double block and then Moment of Craving. Although I guess this is going to pump something up. So I'm going to have to go ahead and shock this in and Moment of Craving the 2/2 now before it gets bigger. And then next turn I can go ahead and put both my creatures on this and block it inside of combat. And then it'll be our walker versus their walker. Tradesies. It's worth noting here too that mistake that I made on the first turn of the game, that was pretty bad for the second turn. If I would have Lava Coiled that creature, I would have taken like 4 less points of damage this game, which is a big deal. Ooh, we got a big powerful dragon. Big strong dragon. Now, the history of Benalia is threatening to pop off and let these knights threaten our dragon. The quip purchases are only available to be used to bump decks that are already in the deck queue, and I don't think something like Mono Blue is really going to port to modern sufficiently. Yikes, really need to draw Ritual of Soot here. I believe we've died. Yikes. That's fine. That's why we play best of 3. Get to be on the play here for the next one. Because waiting for the Ajani +1 gives them the ability to draw a counterspell, and I really wanted that Moment of Craving to resolve. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan here. This hand is not fantastic, but I think it's a keep here. Unfortunately, this is a hand where Llanowar Elves cannot cast Sarkhan on 1 just because we won't have double red. I submitted for game 3 because we were already sideboarded lands. That was game 2. So I think I Rix Maadi, and I think I actually discard the Sarkhan here to try and work our way into the dragon. And the Llanowar Elves is a fantastic draw. It means if we draw a big, powerful red source next turn, our super scary dragon's going to come into play and lock this game right on up for us. That's unfortunate. Spell Pierce me, baby. My elves are here for you, Spell Pierce. Rix Maadi, get into that red zone. Still waiting on a red mana. Do. This Karn's about to get negated. They haven't been making plays, so they got a lot of big, strong, interactive cards going on. I'm not going to attack with my Rix Maadi Reveler here because trading 2 points of damage on them for 2 points of damage on us is not a worthwhile exchange. 1 red source, please. When I do these soft-spoken streams like this, it's really a testament to the fact that you just can't please everyone, chat. When I talk in my normal voice, people complain that I'm too loud and aggressive. When I talk like this, people are like, "You're strange, Hoagland. Why would you talk like this?" So, because the Dauntless Bodyguard is a knight here, they're going to get into a 5-3, and I'm going to go ahead and attack with everything here, because I'm not going to block their attackers this turn, so if we're not going to block, we might as well attack. Yikes. Really need to hit that 5th land this turn, chat. Really need that 5th land. That's a painful 5th land, but it is still a 5th land. Oh, I dragged the wrong thing into play. Yikes. I intended to play the dragon there. I was so excited we drew a land that I picked the wrong one.
Your crew for my
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
fair price.
We'll say this was intentional, so that way we can prevent them from counterspelling our Hellkite next turn. I would be super excited to trade here. Tradesies. Ooh, did we get the counterspell? Did we next level?
Fire.
Ooh, just a land. So, this is an interesting question. Do I play out the Hellkite this turn and die to a removal spell? Or do I just play Sarkhan and then jump block? I think I'm actually supposed to play Sarkhan here. We are currently ahead, and there's no reason to put myself dead to a removal spell, I don't think. So we're just going to go ahead and pass. Gonna go ahead and pass and jump this 3/3. We are dead to deputy, that's true. But both lines are dead to deputy, so there really isn't a reason to play around that. Don't have a way to play around Deputy of Detentions. And once again, they don't have the opportunity to draw a counterspell because Angrath's gonna tick up and grab the card out of their hand. Thunk.
No fire. No steel.
Oh, why wouldn't they play this card? Why? Why wouldn't they play the card? I would like the record to reflect that we played around that. We correctly identified and played around that. That being said, our opponent definitely should have cast that spell. They even moused over Angrath and read what he does. Big play energy, chat. Big play energy. If a Johnny is the adversary of tyrants, does that make me a big strong tyrant, chat? I think it makes me a big strong tyrant.
There's more work to do.
This game is over. Our opponent's dead now. We have 6 ways to end the game. They're gonna die now to my scary dragon. Do 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 do. Beep beep do 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 do. All right, so we said we wanted to go ahead and add a 26th land to this deck, so let's go ahead and do that, because most of the games we've lost so far today have involved not hitting land drops on time. Let's go ahead and trim this 4th Rix Maadi Reveler here, and add a land in. How many black sources do we have? We have 14, 15. Let's just add a swamp, shall we? Dear Relic, with that tier 1 subscription, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I agree. Angrath's a very, very powerful planeswalker. Sadly, this might be the last match with the deck. This hand's very, very reasonable. It does want to draw land though, so I'm very happy to have added a 26th. So the only way currently after the last update to have mismatched lands in Arena is to import a text list with specific lands from specific sets. So, turn 1 Overgrown Tomb here could mean a lot of things. I think it means I'm willing to ditch one of these removal spells, though, so we can try and hit our land drops to play these powerful planeswalkers. I'm discarding the Moment of Craving as opposed to the Cast Down here, because Cast Down is going to be able to kill things like Wild Growth Walker, as well as bigger Jade Light Rangers. Yikes. Gonna go ahead and play the Llanowar Elves out here. It would have been ideal if we would have hit a land there as well, so that way we could cast down this Wild Growth Walker before it becomes a 3/5. Oh, our opponent's not going exploring. That's very good for us, chat. And now we get to get the carnage going on, and Karn's gonna give us that steady flow of lands. Huge tracts of land, courtesy of Karn. Good morning, Mr. Dauber. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Please stop. Stop hurting Karn. He loves you. I think we go ahead and we play. This is a tough choice. Which planeswalker do we want to stick this turn? I think it's close. I think it's Vivien to start generating that powerful card advantage.
No one knows the
Planeswalkers. The opponent's hand must have been a plethora of spot removal spells, if I had to venture a guess. Okay, so Lava Coil is a better removal spell here than Moment of Craving. It's a little bit more flexible for us, which is nice. I'm not sure that I really want to board anything else in here. Our main deck is very, very reasonable against Sultai. We're a pile of efficient removal spells, and then planeswalkers that generate card advantage. I think this is okay. I think we're going to go ahead and click submit. People always like to talk about Eldest Reborn in this matchup, and I don't think cards like Eldest Reborn are very good, just because Eldest Reborn, they have so many meaningless creatures like Llanowar Elves and like Explore creatures that are just going to get in the way, and your Eldest Reborn's not going to kill things that you really want to kill. It's possible that I should cut one of my more expensive spells here and board in the 4th Lava Coil, just so I have extra removal on the draw. But with my 2 copies of Ritual of Soot acting as a catch-up mechanic, I think it's fine. This hand is fantastic. Is this a concession cast down? Feels like it might be a concession cast down. It's kind of funny that people are so not used to a normal performance voice being a big, strong projection that when I speak in a normal voice like this, that they just assume I'm whispering. If you want me to whisper, chat, whispering sounds a little bit like this. This is a whisper. This is me being as quiet as possible. Maybe this is even worse. Is this better or is this worse? This is a whisper. Oh Lord. Oh Lordy. You want me to stop? Please stop. Please stop. The whispers, chat. The whispers were all we needed. Oh no, that match was so fast. We have to play another one. Is it getting a little hot in here, or has my space heater just been on for too long? You be the judge. Thank you for the 6-month resub, JMM. I really appreciate it. I think this hand is a bit of a mulligan just because not only do we lack planeswalkers as a way to pressure the board, but this hand has so many lands in it that also don't make green mana. So not only is our hand a little bit flooded, but we can't cast our spells, which means this hand not only needs to draw lands, but it also needs to draw spells. Monty Python coming in hot with that Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So this land's going to be tapped because we have Woodland Cemetery Mountain, but that's fine. We get to go Cemetery on 1 into Elf second Cemetery on 2. I think it's right to develop my mana here, but it might be correct to just play Moment of Craving. I think I want to go ahead and play the Llanowar Elves here. See, you call Sarkhan a bad looter, but I call Sarkhan a good looter. Sarkhan is incredibly good at what he does. Being able to turn cards that otherwise wouldn't have text boxes into something meaningful, I think, is very potent. They always have the dive down, chat. They always have the dive down. I think we go ahead and we just put a stop on their upkeep here. This does open us up to a main deck copy of Negate, but they can't Wizard Retort us currently. And being able to choke them off a mana this turn is really valuable. Oh, it opens up to double spell Pierce. Pierce me, baby. Pierce me. Oh, I think they just missed the elf, chat. Oh, we've been double pierced. Really hoping to draw a 5th land next turn, so that way we can go ahead and play a Hellkite or an Angrath. Yikes. I think we're dead. I think we're dead. Do 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 do. Ooh, the old tricky dick. Hoping to hit that 5th land here so we can play one of our big scaries. Big scary. Give it the old college try here. Yikes. Hoping to draw a red source next turn, so that way we can play our big bad Hellkite out. Still nothing. These are the worst games. The worst games are the ones where after you add a land to your deck and then you still brick off and die. So just gonna go ahead and pull the curve of our deck down. Lava Coils and Duresses in. Karns, Vraskas, Ravager Wurms out. I really like the mono blue deck. I don't think there's anything wrong with the mono blue deck. people keep talking about the mono blue deck like it's this big, terrible, scary thing, and we just keep losing games because we missed our land drops. Like, if we could just like hit 4 lands in 4 turns, we'd have beaten the mono blue deck almost every time we play. The mono blue deck's very good at beating people who don't get to play Magic. If you just play Magic, the blue deck is very, very beatable, chat. We are almost done with ASMR, Jeff. Pegan, I think you clicked the wrong button there. There you go. I don't think Curious Vines is worth playing in this matchup. I think it's very, very narrow. Ooh, Llanowar Elves. Now the question is, do I want to play the Elves out here, or do I want to save them for after Ritual of Soot? I think it's important to play them here, so this way I can potentially play my Ritual of Soot around Spell Pierce. Not So Wicked Twitch, thank you. Not So Wicked Witch, woo, with the 3-month resub. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Well, this is something I hadn't considered as well. I will take my 2 for 3. Thank you. I think I preferred the Pirates deck with the White Splash for Deputy of Detention that we played. Definitely really liked the build with Deputy of Detention. Oh, don't worry. We're gonna stay nice and soft until we finish this match. Until the match is over. And when the match is over, I take the microphone and I put it back in its normal spot, way back on my desk. It's much, much quieter. I elected not to play the Rix Maadi Reveler here because I don't really want to shock a land in. I think I'd prefer to just play a cast down this turn. I assume this isn't going to resolve. Oh, they're digging for protection. Ooh. You put that card on top, opponent. You put that big, strong magic card on top. Now I'm going to go ahead and Rix Maadi Reveler and go ahead and cycle on through. I'm going to kill this while they're tapped out. No reason to let them untap and have protection again, chat. You want to get them while they're not using protection. Ooh, another Rix Maadi, Yo, do you want to see a spectacle, chat? This is gonna be a real spectacle. And now Sarkhan's gonna take out the trash. He's gonna filter through all these bad cards and turn them into wonderful, wonderful cards. Let's start with a Moment of Craving, though. I'm feeling a little hangry this morning. Thank you for those biddies, Drax. I appreciate it. Llanowar Elves has paid for so many spell pierces today. So many spell pierces. Good morning, Walgamar. You're catching us right at the tail end of this deck and this voice. You're going to click submit, and we're going to go ahead and we're not going to submit, though. We're going to do what we want to do. So normally, ASIM, a $100 donation would get you played next, but Punchworthy went on a spending spree over the weekend, so Jeskai friends and Grixis friends also have $100 behind them. So a big donation today would get you played after Grixis friends. If you're on mobile, on iOS, you need to use your web browser to Prime Sub and navigate to my Twitch page. If you're on Android, there should just be a button there for you. This hand is very, very good if we draw some lands, chat. Very, very good. No, this is the only super special league. This league will be special. It's a gift to all of you out there. I think we're gonna go ahead and cast down here. I want to prioritize taking Scary Terry out of play here, because this getting bigger is more scary than this being unblockable. And the tap out for the Tempest Shin is very good for us here, as is drawing the land. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Llanowar Elves. I'm going to go ahead and Lava Coil big old Tempest Shin. The fact that they tapped out for the Tempest Shin kind of implies to me that they likely have another one, but that's fine. We're going to have a ritual next turn. How much extra do they pay for this? If you have to ask the question of how much, don't worry your head about it. Just don't worry your pretty little head about it. The question is, do I want to cast down here in response? I think I do. I think I want to go ahead and cast down here in response, because this way if I draw land for the turn, I can go ahead and play Sarkhan. I'm going to go ahead and Lava Coil this Mistcloak Carol, and this sequencing is making my Ritual of Soot a little bit worse, but that's okay. I have this Sarkhan, and he can cycle through this Ritual of Soot if it's not going to be good for us. Choices, choices, choices. Let's get Rakdos midrange played after Grix's friends. Thank you very, very much for your generosity, Asim. I appreciate the support. Thanks for keeping me around. Okie doke. Land, 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 land. Oh. This land lets us play around Spell Pierce. Okie doke. This game is over. Angrath has won now. It's really fun when we make land drops. Do 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 do. Okie doke. So I think at the end there, if we go back and look at the record, we ended up batting about 500. We won about half our games there. So if we look back and see the results and kind of think about why we won and lost games of Magic, we mostly lost games because we didn't hit enough land drops. So I think it's very, very important to add that 26 land in. That 26 land is going to help us not miss a lot more often. Also worth noting that because we have cards like Sarkhan and Rix Maadi Reveler, these are cards that when we draw too many lands, they can help us kind of filter through them so we can play Magic more consistently, even if we would be flooded. So if you're looking for a sweet Jund themed Super Friends deck, I think this is a great, great choice. For all of you out there who have maybe turned your volume up to hear my succulent voice a little bit louder, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn back to my normal self, which shouldn't be that much louder than I am right now, because I'm going to move my microphone position and adjust my gain a little bit, but just a fair